All right, let's just jump right in. What we're looking at here, it's not really a book, not a finished manuscript or anything like that. It's something else, something more raw. We're kind of digging into an artifact, this collection of really mysterious typewritten fragments. It's almost like they've been pulled from some lost time capsule. And as you look at them, all these fragments, they seem to be asking this one central question. It's a question that's going to guide us through this whole thing. What story does a city actually tell? And what about the people inside? Yeah, and the answers, they're not simple. They definitely don't come easy. They come to us like this, just in pieces. This right here is our very first fragment of the puzzle. It's a little hint that the story we're trying to piece together is scattered, it's incomplete, and you can just tell it's deeply personal. Okay, so let's get into our first section. I want you to think of yourself as a fellow explorer here. We're going to sift through this incredible collection of pages together. The first thing that really hits you is just how physical these fragments are. I mean, look at the torn edges, the weird, unconventional spacing. The words are practically tumbling down the page. This isn't just text, it's a visual object. And that form, it's telling us something really important. The way the story is told feels just as disjointed and fractured as city life can be. It's like they say, right? The medium is the message. And what's so cool is the variety in style. You get some pages that are just, like this one, a super dense wall of text, right? It feels like a total flood of consciousness just captured in a single moment. It has this urgent, almost breathless quality to it, like the author just couldn't get the words out fast enough. But then, you turn the page and you get fragments like this. Wow, so much empty space, just a few words floating there. And here, that silence, that white on the page, it feels just as important as the words themselves. It really makes you wonder, what's being left unsaid? And so often, what's left unsaid in all that powerful, empty space are these stories of loneliness, this search for connection in a world that's just packed with people. And that brings us perfectly to our first major theme, the city's voice. And this comparison right here just nails that central tension. On one side, you've got a fragment that speaks to this really personal, almost feverish feeling of being totally alone. And then on the other side, you have that phrase, all you humans doing humanness. And that just perfectly captures that overwhelming feeling of being just one person in a huge anonymous crowd. It's this constant push and pull that really defines the city in these pages. I mean, listen to this one line from one of the fragments. It gets right to the heart of that feeling. Feverish, exiting standing straight up and being ignored. Man, it's that feeling of just trying to hold it together, right? Standing perfectly straight and at the same time feeling completely invisible to the crowd that's just swirling all around you. It's a feeling I think a lot of us can relate to. So the voice we're hearing isn't just looking inward. It can be incredibly raw, really observational. This fragment, for example, it gives the city this challenging, almost confrontational personality. This is not some romantic postcard view of the city. No, it's a gritty, totally unfiltered take on a real place. So that brings us to our next section. We're going to zoom in a little bit, from the big, wide city to the people living in it. We're on the hunt for those human fragments, those little glimpses of conversations, of relationships, and those quiet, private moments. I mean, just look at this line. My thank you for using so few words. Wow. On its own, it's just so intimate, so powerful. It says so much about a relationship where you don't need these long explanations to be understood. There is a whole story packed into just 8 words. And here you can see where that beautiful line actually comes from. See how it's just nestled there at the bottom, part of a much bigger, more complex thought? It's such a great reminder that these moments of pure clarity, they often just pop out of the beautiful mess of our everyday thinking. And this archive is just full of these little whispers of connection. They feel like lines you'd overhear from a dozen different stories. Just listen to these. I have seen you and sold you poems only once. A quick commercial moment that still feels somehow personal. Or how about this one? We forgive you for orbiting wordlessly. What a beautiful image of just being there quietly. Then there's Oh Life by a Meeting Watching You Wait. The simple act of watching someone becomes this profound thing. And finally, Somewhere Between Tomorrow and the Camera, I Miss Your Name. That ache of a memory you can't quite grab. Each one is like a tiny, powerful little window into a life. So these glimpses of connection, these are the real heart of the archive, right? These beautiful human moments. But for the artist trying to capture them, there's also this constant practical reality. You gotta survive. And that brings us to a really powerful recurring tension in this collection, the struggle between art and commerce. This right here just distills that conflict perfectly, and it's using words pulled straight from the source material. On one side, you've got the work itself, poetry, melody, beauty, and on the other side, you've got the price, money, selling, a commodity, $5. It's that classic, timeless struggle, isn't it? Art versus commerce. And this fragment, it just tackles that conflict head on. There's almost a defensiveness to it, a justification. It is not a crime to put a price on your art, to sell your work to people who want it. You can almost feel the author wrestling with this whole idea. And the author actually gives this dilemma a name, the commodity status. This is a really key concept. It's this idea that when you slap a price tag on art, on poetry, or on what they call a cultural participation, you risk changing its very nature. You turn it from something personal and expressive into, well, just another product to be bought and sold. It becomes a commodity. And in that exchange, sure, money is gained, but the artist is asking what essential quality might be lost along the way. But in the end, the whole philosophical debate comes crashing down to this simple, practical reality. That need to make that money, it's always there. It's a constant pressure that's going to shape the life of anyone who's trying to create something. So, where does all this leave us? Well, in our final section, we're going to shift our focus a bit. We're going to look at what isn't there, at the gaps and the spaces, and talk about what it means to find meaning in a story that's not quite finished. This simple, really powerful fragment from the collection, it might just be the key to the whole thing. The book isn't. That's it. It's not finished. It isn't a complete, closed-off story. It's a statement of fact, sure, but it's an invitation. And that leaves us with one last essential question. This archive, by its very nature, is incomplete. It's full of empty spaces and torn edges. And because of that, it invites us to be more than just readers. It wants us to be co-authors. It's basically handing the pen over to you. So the question is, what will you write in the spaces between?